Hey everyone, good morning. Good morning. Awaken to Joy, day number 3. We're going to talk about fear today. Now stay tuned because it's actually a really good thing I'm going to be sharing. I know it can sound like, great, we're going to talk about fear. Not so much. But it's a good thing. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Erdman-Luntz, and I am a life coach and yoga educator and author of Awaken to Joy. Awaken to Joy was written at a really, really tough time in my life when I was really challenged with lots of things. You can read the book if you want. You can also listen to my podcast about it. I won't go into it today, but I just want you to know that I'm here to help you feel good. You know, I went through a little bit of a rough time this summer, and I thought I need to get back to the basics, and that's what this was about. This was about the basic things I could do to help myself feel better, awaken to a deeper sense of joy in myself during a really challenging time in my life. So I thought, hey, I love company. Let's do it together. So today we're going to talk about fear. And like I said before, I want to keep these videos relatively short, just to get you thinking about it. So let's talk a little bit about fear. The thing with fear is one of those things that can drain your energy fast. So if you imagine that you've got a set number of joy units, energy units in any one day. Okay, just stick with me here. So say you have 100 units, and you'll do things during the day that add to those units. You know, you might eat really well, have a great talk with a friend, exercise, drink enough water, have your hot cup of tea that makes you feel so good, whatever it might be. And then you're going to do things that take away from your units. So something that, you know, you might get frustrated in traffic, or you might be running late, or you might have a deadline that's got you stressed. And those drain your units, if you will. Now, everything is like on a spectrum. So there are things that are going to add tons of units into your day, and things that'll just add a few units. And there's going to be things that drain all of your units or just drain a few. Okay, so stick with me here, because fear is one of those things that has the capacity to drain all of your units and put you in a deficit in an instant. And in fact, the biggest one that will affect you is what I call your big fear. And everybody in the world, everybody has their big fear. Sometimes it's two, and it's in an area of their life where it's just things are a little, it's scary for you for whatever reason. And I do believe it's because that's the place in this lifetime where we are destined to learn more about ourselves, to evolve, to grow, etc. So the 5 main areas are your career. And I'm going to talk about how you know if it's your big fear area. So it's career, money, relationships, health, and safety. Okay, so safety meaning you're worried that your house will get broken into, etc. So you know it's your big fear area if when something happens in that area, well, two things. One is that fear is always running in the background, like a window air conditioner. So if you've ever had a window air conditioner, they are mega loud. And when you first turn on, it's like, wow, this is really loud. After a while, you stop hearing it, right? But it's still there. It's still running in the background. And you know this because when you turn it off, you go, oh, right? You've experienced that. Yes? And what you want to do is, with this big fear, it's always running in the background. There's always this what if in the background with this big fear. The other hallmark of your big fear is if something happens in that area, a bump along the way, you feel like this is it. You know, it'll never get better. Or there's that fear it's never going to get better. So if it's in your money situation, you get a bill you weren't expecting, within a matter of seconds, you have yourself living on the streets, losing your home, living on the streets. If it's your health, you have a little cough, and all of a sudden, like in a matter of seconds, you assume you have pneumonia. And this is it. You should probably check your will. Okay? Relationship. You have a fight with your spouse, and in an instant, you've got yourself divorced, and you're already checking for apartments so you can move out. Okay, that's the hallmark of big fear area. So things will happen in all the other areas of your life. You know, you may have blips. You're going to have blips and beeps along the way, if you will, but they don't send you into a tizzy. You know, you get a cold and you're like, oh, well, this is going to just be an annoyance for a couple of days. Now, I want to share a couple of stories just to help illustrate this. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years ago, you know what her first thought was? And we talked about this because she said her first thought was, she was diagnosed in May. Her first thought was, nuts, it's going to mess up my summer. It wasn't, this is it. I'm going to die. I have cancer. I have the big C, where a lot of us might go. It was, this is going to mess up my summer. Now, my dad, on the other hand, it's sort of a joke in our family. He'll have a little cough, and he's already got pneumonia and checking his will. Okay, that's his bigger fear area, if you will. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. My husband, his big fear area is safety and security. He's always locking our doors, checking, making things sure everything is safe. He's a martial artist. Do you think there's a reason for that? Of course. Like, he wasn't conscious, but he stepped into a lifetime where he could defend himself and defend those around us. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Well, because you want to identify your big fear area, because when a blip happens in that area, it will drain your energy in an instant, and you will already be, you're going to be at a zero, or if not in a deficit around this. And it will affect so many things in your life. Okay, this is going to affect your joy for sure. When you identify the area, though, it has less power over you. Okay? So you're thinking about it. Is it your career? Are you worried about your job? Have you always been worried about your job? Is it money? Money has a lot of facets. Do you spend easily? If you can, if you have it, do you save easily, or do you hoard? Do you fear it's not going to come your way? All those things take a part of that. Your health, we've already discussed that. Your security, hi Steffi, we've already discussed that. Once you identify your area, it helps because it has less of a hold on you. Now, the next thing I want you to do with your big fear is track it over a week. This is actually the assignments in the Awaken to Joy program, so I'm going to take you through them, is track it. Track it and just notice its affecting you. What's it doing? How's it affecting you? And then begin to play with, what would it be like if I didn't have this? So your brain is a really powerful tool. And as you begin to play with, what would it be like if I didn't have this? What would it be like if I was actually, I felt safe, or I felt secure, or I knew my health was going to be good? What would it be like? Begin to play. And what's really interesting is most of our big fears, while they usually come from childhood, sometimes they come from before that, and you bring them into this lifetime. So you may not even have a memory of not having the fear. So you have to kind of pretend. Begin to pretend. If you know someone in your life who doesn't have that fear, emulate their energy. What would they think in this situation? How would they feel? What can I do here? And begin to pretend with what would it be like to not have the fear? And I'm telling you, it's not going to have the same hold on you. Now, there are other things you need to do to get over it fully. I'm going to add probably. This may help. This may do it. But that will get you started, and it won't affect you as much. It won't drag you down. And actually, that was one of my challenges, and one of the reasons I had such a rough summer was my big fear was in my face, meaning things were happening in my physical reality that were affecting my big fear, and it was just dragging me down. I was like, and there it is. I told you. Told you it was going to be awful. And instead I needed to embrace this and begin to pretend as if it's all going to be okay, because when you slip into your fear area, you lose all perspective. Okay, you have no choices. You don't feel like you have options. There's no perspective. You need to keep that vibe up in order to keep your perspective going. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining me. If this helped, please follow me, because there'll be more coming. I've got about 10 more live streams or so planned as we work our way through the Awaken to Joy program. If you would like the worksheet that I've created, go to lauraerdmanluntz.com/awaken to joy. And I got a nice, simple little worksheet that you can follow. And by the way, all the previous videos I have done are on that page too. So you can find that page, scroll down, all the videos are there. So if you want to go back and rewatch some of them, you can. Hey y'all, thanks for joining me. May you be inspired to live your extraordinary life. Have a spectacular day.